You know that feeling when an important task is staring you in the face, but instead of tackling it, you're scrolling through your phone or binge watching your favorite show. I'll do it later, you tell yourself, but somehow later turns into never. Why does this happen? Well, it's not because you're lazy. It's because your brain craves instant gratification in that task. It's not delivering the dopamine hit you want. So you reach for what feels good in the moment, like checking your phone or diving into Netflix. Procrastination isn't about laziness. It's a way to avoid uncomfortable feelings. Fear of failure, stress, self-doubt, they're the real culprits. You're not dodging the task, dodging the emotions that come with it. Think about it, you have a big project to complete, and suddenly folding laundry feels like a top priority. But here's the catch, putting things off doesn't make those feelings go away. It actually makes them worse. Procrastination leads to guilt, anxiety, and a mountain of stress. Instead of solving the problem, it creates a vicious cycle. It's not about willpower. It's about managing emotions. In the short term, procrastination feels like a relief. You avoid the stress of starting the task. But long term, it's a disaster. The task doesn't disappear. It just looms larger. The stress piles up, and when you finally face it, you're rushing to get it done. The result? Half-baked work and even more anxiety. Procrastination also kills your productivity. You're not giving yourself the time to do your best work. Instead, you're stuck in a cycle of avoidance and regret. So if procrastination feels good now, it's worth remembering the long-term cost. Why do we procrastinate? It's a mix of psychological factors, and understanding them is the first step to breaking the habit. You might avoid starting because you're afraid you won't meet expectations, yours or someone else's. Perfectionists are especially prone to this. They'd rather not start than risk falling short. But the longer you delay, the bigger the task seems, and the fear only grows. When a task doesn't feel meaningful, it's easy to shove it aside. If there's no immediate reward, your brain tunes it out and focuses on something more fun, like social media. The less connected you feel to the task, the harder it is to find the motivation to begin. Too many tasks on your plate. That's cognitive overload. Your brain doesn't know where to start, so it chooses the easiest option, doing nothing. The more you think about everything you have to do, the less you actually get done. When a task feels overwhelming, unpleasant, or boring, you avoid it to escape the negative emotions it triggers. But the more you avoid, the stronger those emotions become. It's a cycle that feeds itself. Breaking free from procrastination starts with action, small, deliberate steps that create momentum. Don't wait for the perfect time or the right motivation. Pick the smallest part of the task and just start. Write one sentence, clean one corner, or make one phone call. Starting is the hardest part, but once you're in motion, it's easier to keep going. If the task feels overwhelming, break it into smaller, manageable steps. Use the Pomodoro technique, work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. This method helps you focus without burning out. Tackle the hardest task of the day first thing in the morning. Once it's done, everything else will feel easier. Starting with the tough stuff builds momentum for the rest of your day. Turn off notifications, clear your workspace, and use tools like focus apps to block distractions. Set yourself up for success by creating an environment that helps you focus. Give yourself clear, specific deadlines. Instead of saying, "I'll do it someday," commit to completing a task within the next hour or by the end of the day. Deadlines create urgency and help you focus. Celebrate small wins. Reward yourself for completing each step, whether it's a coffee break, a walk, or a quick scroll through your favorite app. Positive reinforcement keeps you motivated. Stop aiming for perfect. Focus on making progress, not perfection. Mistakes are part of the process, and done is better than perfect. Set aside a specific time each day to work on your tasks. Consistency creates habits, and habits reduce decision fatigue. Start small and build momentum over time. Procrastination isn't about laziness. It's about how we manage our emotions. By understanding why we procrastinate and using these strategies, you can take back control. Remember, the hardest part is starting, but once you do, momentum will carry you forward. So don't wait for motivation to strike. Take a small action right now and keep building on it. You've got this.